The following is for mature audiences only. Episodes will contain coarse and explicit language and very serious subject matter. Some discussions will include talk of mental illness, violence, racism, self-harm, but not limited to. Such conversations may also include audible graphic descriptions. Viewer discretion is advised. Hi everyone, welcome to Opinions. Full video and audio episodes can be seen on patreon.com/The Opinions Show. But of course we do have all the other social media that is mandatory if you prefer. Enjoy the show. That was the final slate, and we are moving on to record the episode. Oh, I can't fit it in.
Oh, here. That's what she said.
Ah, snap. Eek.
Yeah.
Eek.
Well, hello,
So
everyone.
we're-
Welcome to our podcast here at the Bump and Grind Cafe in Vancouver, British Columbia, where we have a show called Opinions. Or like assholes, everybody has one, and so do I.
Oh, you said that great. I wonder
And-
how your levels are.
I am your co-host for this podcast. My name is SYNDER STAR. I like the pronouns they and them. Hello, welcome. I hope you've been enjoying the podcast so far.
I have a spoon.
Oh, he's gonna spoon his drink into him.
I want to spoon myself. Nobody else will.
Hey, yeah.
Unless I pay for it. Anyways,
so
so what the hell is this show?
it's opinions. We're like assholes. Everyone has one, and so do I.
You want to say that again?
Oh, opinions are like assholes. Everybody has one, and so do I.
Oh, you finally got it. You finally got it.
Oh,
You got it. You nailed it.
Oh, it only took me the 9th episode to finally be able to say that
I
right,
know.
but like,
and you still screwed it the first two times you just said it too. It took you a third try.
I'm dyslexic.
Hi everyone, and welcome to Sportsnet.ca. Welcome. This episode is brought to you by Pentax. Strong enough for a woman, but made for a man.
Right?
That made no sense. And I'm just vamping here. I don't even know what I'm saying. It's like that old joke, right? The guy walks into a bar, sits down, and says, "Listen, we don't serve anybody here unless you have a name for your penis." All right, so the guy's like, "Well, I don't know what to." Oh, it turns to the guy next to him and says, "Hey, help me out here. What do I name my penis?" He's like, "Well, I named my Energizer because it keeps going and going." And I'm like, oh my gosh! And he turns to the dude on the other side and says, "Well, what about you? What did you name your penis?" And the dude says, "Hang on, I forgot this one. Hang on. What is it? This one, the dude said, frig did he call it? We're gonna skip that one. Anyways, it's another weird, obscene joke.
Like
right?
Duracell keeps on going.
Well, that's the Energizer Bunny.
No, the energy bar is the same thing, but Duracell, it's like everyone depends on Duracell.
Okay, but you're destroying my joke right now.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Same difference.
Anyways.
Anyway, so the dude, in reference to what I said earlier, goes to the bartender and says, "Oh, I got a name. What do you call your penis?" "I call my penis Secret."
Like in the deodorant?
Yeah, because it's strong enough for a man,
Yeah,
but made for a woman.
Wow. Fuck, I wish you would have known what the second guy said for his penis, because
Yeah, I forget. It was some, but it doesn't really matter. It wasn't. It was just example jokes.
I think
for
you only
those
needed
two.
the one guy, really.
Really, yeah, it still worked. But the joke that I learned originally was two people, because third time's a charm.
I only need once, thank you.
What was the joke that came to me earlier the other day, and I had wished that I'd remembered it? It was so freaking funny. Watch the wires. I don't want them to accidentally be. Yeah.
I'm tangled up, hold on,
Hang on.
we got it.
There we go.
Hey.
There was another dirty joke. What was the dirty jokes? Hi, welcome to Dirty Jokes Are Us.
No.
Let me think. There was one that I was thinking of the other day, and I thought, oh, I'd forgotten that joke, and it was so good, and it was actually tellable. It wasn't like a bad one, like, you know.
There's no such thing as bad jokes.
Well, no, there's certain jokes
I
that we
mean,
really
there's
shouldn't be saying this day and age, frankly.
Who fucking cares?
Well, I'm certainly not going to say the one that I know, or I'm going to have to bleep it out. There's a lot of racial slurs in the one that I know that's hilarious, but I'm not going to say it. Because we're done. We're moving on from that day and age.
Anyway, so for this episode, we like to pick a word.
Basically, so three people are on a beach. There's an American white dude.
And a black man.
There's an African American man.
Or you want to... Okay.
And there's
also known as like.
And
I said that quietly.
that recorded full sound on the podcast audio.
Sorry, you gotta bleep that one out then. Felicia. Hey, we're not making fun of anybody. We love everyone equally.
And there's a Chinese American man.
Well, now
The
you're
three of them are walking down the beach, and they find a genie, and the genie says, "I grant you all one wish, 3 in combination." And they're all thinking, and the African American man says, well, I'd love to be back in Africa, prospering with my family, having good work, not just for me, but for everybody in the country. Right?
Okay.
Because I only came here to make a good living, but I don't really want to be in America. I've always wanted to stay at home. The genie says, fine, your grant is wished. And the African-American man is back in,
his hometown.
in Africa.
Yeah.
Wherever, whatever, country and region. And they're prospering and having a good life.
Okay.
And then the Chinese gentleman says basically the same thing. Look, I just want to be back in China. I want to be prospering, having a good life, and support my children, and make sure that my children and children's children have a good career as well. So done, the genie does it.
So
and then the genie says to the American, what's your wish? And the white American says, wait a minute. Are you telling me that all the are out of America? And the genie says, yes, why? And the American says, well, in that case, I'll have a Coke.
Okay. Yeah, folks, sorry for that. That was fucking funny, but wow, whoa. Okay. So,
I am bleeping those words,
yeah.
but it makes a really good commentary on the American culture.
Thank God I'm
And that is the
Canadian.
point, and that is why it's funny, because it's so true.
Well, they're racial.
That is what's funny about it.
Anyways, moving on to our podcast.
Comedy, people!
So,
Speaking of which, I encountered a racist the other day at the grocery store who I called out in front of everybody. There's about 40 people in line.
we're gonna hear about it now, folks.
And this gentleman, I can't believe I'm calling this person a gentleman.
Was he an older gentleman or was he a younger gentleman?
Older.
So, like, senior?
Yeah.
Oh, I would call him an old boot then.
And so anyways, this guy is on the self-checkout and he's struggling with it. And then asking for help from one of the staff. One of the checkout staff that's always assigned there, right? And this checkout staff member, he wasn't white. That's all I'm going to say about that.
So there's an automatic language barrier, right?
No language barrier.
Oh, okay.
The guy was fluent in English.
Fuck.
Just, you could tell he was not Caucasian.
Okay.
So, this elderly gentleman is struggling.
I didn't want to help him.
Asks for help. And the guy goes to help him. Kind of helps him, but you could tell he was annoyed and was verbally saying stuff. And then the cashier guy was watching because he was struggling. And then as soon as the elderly gentleman made a mistake, he immediately stepped in and said, oh, I can fix that, because that's his job, to watch, to make sure. He's got to punch in the codes and it didn't work or whatever. And then the guy says, he's like, well, step back, you're just way too close to me. And it's like, fine. And he told the kid to fuck off. Fine. But then he did it numerous times back to back. And I called him out on it, and I said, listen, and I'm paraphrasing all of this, and I said, listen, he's trying to help you. Either let him stand beside you and look at the screen to see when there's a problem, or don't ask for help.
Yeah, makes sense.
And I'm like, and somehow we got to the point where I'm like, yeah, but you're being a racist. And he's like, I'm not a racist. I'm like, well, here's the problem. Everybody is entitled to tell someone else to fuck off. That's fine. We all have those days.
Yeah.
We're all human. The problem is, you're having specific problems. He is the only one that can fix it. And you have numerous times told him to back off in an inappropriate way. Once is one, but you've kept going. Even after he stepped away, you kept going. You might be having a bad day, but you want him to step back and then step forward every single time. But he's obvious that you're having constant trouble. So either go to the checkout, which I know you're not going to do, because there's a Latino woman, and it's the only cashier available, so you're not going to do that one. But you're willing to deal with at least a male who's not white. but you're annoyed when you have to ask for help from someone who you think is inferior. And the reason I'm calling you a racist is because you said it multiple times. You told me to fuck off. Once is enough. But then why tell him to fuck off if you're asking for him to come back? It makes no sense. You want it both ways. So to me, it looks like you are telling him to fuck off for no reason.
Well, yeah.
He's the one to help you. And I might be wrong, but right now, you've said it more than once. So this makes no rational sense. So I'm like, let him help you, get you the hell out of here, and leave. Because nobody's interested in you anymore. You are done. Your generation's over. And I said, basically, let's in front of everyone, line up. And then I had a bunch of people thank me. But I have that privilege that I can stand up and say something. Of course, the guy wouldn't look at me.
The guy that was helping.
Yeah. The older guy wasn't. He didn't look at me once. I'm like, yeah, of course you're not.
Because you know you're in the wrong.
And he did defend himself, and you're allowed to do that. But I'm like, you did it so many. It makes no sense. None of it. I could be wrong as well, right?
Right.
And maybe he's not a racist. But it's just like, even if you're not, like, you're telling me to fuck off, but then you're asking for help. And then he did, but then you're repeating yourself, even when he's not beside you. Like, why are you continuing to berate the guy who's not even standing beside you anymore?
Yeah, like
I'm like, what is wrong with you, bro? That just 1 + 1 is 2 to me. Which, I could be wrong, but I don't care in the long run.
Right. But that's racism. Definitely. Or just
could be. Or he doesn't view it that way. But anyways, whatever. What? So that was that incident. But I knew I had the moment where I have that privilege to use my privilege, and I fucking did. And I'm going to. And I can get away with it. I can get it with others might not be able to for whatever reason. And the thing is, if anyone else said something, maybe that's why he didn't look at me and stood down. But if someone else tried, he may have gotten into a fight with them. But he's not going to go against me.
Because you're probably the same color as him.
Exactly.
This fucking world, it just amazes me sometimes. I just can't. Sometimes I hate being alive. Like,
you know, I don't even know the difference realistically, and I think I've said this before, until I was much older when someone really pointed it out, because my sister loves tanning. My sister is very dark-skinned. Wow. That's only because she tans.
Right. Fake and bakes.
Right, exactly. Yeah. But then, not even fake. No, she'll go out in the sun, beach all day.
Oh.
Right, she'll do both.
She'll do natural and the fake?
Right, yeah. Oh, wow. So for me, I grew up with a sister that had really dark skin pigment. So, but for me, it was like, the way I looked at it was scientifically. Not that I had to look at it that way, but when you look at people that live in a culture where there's a lot of sun, a lot of daylight, they have darker skin pigment. Right. It's been changed by the sun, but it also protects them. And that's why it's darker, to protect the skin. Right. That's why we have hair on our heads, to protect our head. Right? Right. All these different things like hair, it's naturally made. So, and then in places where it's colder and darker and dimmer, there's light-skinned. There's not as much pigment in there. Right. Because you don't need to be protected by the sun because it's naturally like a cloudy environment, like in some parts of the UK, for example.
Well, I know, like in Yukon, they only get 4 hours of sun.
So they're very pale. Right? Yeah. They don't need that sun protection, right? But that's why your skin darkens in that regard. Mind you, it's cooking and baking, right? But that was natural through thousands of years of evolution. My sister tanning isn't, but for me, I never thought about it any different. Like, your skin changed because you were in the sun a lot. And so when I look at other people that are naturally have dark skin pigment, for me, it was just, I didn't think about why they have it because I grew up watching my sister tan a lot.
So,
but I also didn't assume that they're just out in the sun tanning. I knew that was natural for them because you're out in the sun a lot. Right. So for me, there was no... It's just a scientific thing.
Yeah, I see. I get your point.
And it wasn't until much later that I started to realize about racism and all that, especially because my parents are racist. And as a teenager, I started to sort of uncover this racial bias that my parents had. And then I started seeing the rest of the world slowly. But I got lucky because the people I grew up around, outside of my family, were really wonderful people. So I didn't see all of that. But with my family, as I got older, I started cluing in. I'm like, you've also kind of learned this, and they're not even realizing that they're biased against people because of skin tone. Right. Even without intention. It's written into them. Where, interestingly enough, I made it out pretty good considering how my parents raised me. That's not to say I don't have bias in me, but I'm aware of it so I can stop it. And I've caught myself, and I've stopped myself from doing it. Right. Right? Because then I've had people in the past who are like, Attila, your cast is so diverse. I'm like, yeah, I didn't do that intentionally. I did it because they fit. Whereas other people are doing it intentionally to make it like, our film has to be realistic to life. There's a lot of different types of people. I'm like, I didn't do that intentionally. That just happened. But my film was just realistic. But they were also good. I didn't go out casting a film to make it realistic in that aspect.
Right.
But it happened that way. My co-producer said to me at the time, and then I had to look at the cast. I'm like, shit, you're right. But that wasn't my intention. Or at least that I'm aware. Maybe I did it in the subconscious because of the way I grew up. It's my way of getting back to not becoming like my parents. I don't know.
Most
All
likely.
I know is that I didn't actively do that. So I know that for me, I don't have a natural bias in that aspect.
Right.
So, you know, and I've eventually learned that I am totally safe when I stand up for the most part. So, yeah, I'm just saying.
Cool.
I will be the first person to stand up in the room.
Yes, you would. I'll be right beside you.
Anyway, so that's my experience. That's sort of like my
So that's your
life
check-in?
in a nutshell.
Oh, right.
Uh,
So you want to explain to people what we do with this lovely dictionary?
Yeah, hi everyone, so welcome to Opinions. This is the show where we pick a random word from the dictionary and we make a discussion around that word. It is very much a, you know, like, not improvised, but it's like a, open discussion. We don't need to stick to anything, whatnot. But wait, never mind. We'll do it for episode 10.
Wait, I
was gonna do something different.
Oh, what?
No, it's fine. Keep that word, because you read it already, right?
Well, yeah, I picked it.
I wanted you to not read it yet.
Oh, right.
No, we'll do it for the last
Oh,
episode.
right. I
Yeah.
forgot what we were doing, but like...
We'll do it. Anyway, so yeah, so we picked a random episode. It's a very free-flowing conversation. We don't really talk about the word. We're just chit-chatting and hopefully entertained with the jokes and the stories. And that's that. I've got a camera there. We've got a camera there, and there's the camera for
So
you.
would you like to know what the word is?
Yeah, should I angle this a bit more towards
Perk.
you? Hang on.
That's good.
You like that?
Right.
Good.
Perk. It's a verb and a noun. So, for the verb, we got perks, perking, perked, and then perk up, which makes or becomes more cheerful, from perch. The second one is perk, which is the noun, plural, of perks. Informal. Something extra given to a worker. Free bus travel is one of the perks of the job. From perquisite. Yeah, that's it. And it goes. Yeah, that's the word, perk.
Perk. It's interesting. I don't know if it's the same thing, but there's an extension of perk that I know.
There's perky.
Yes. It doesn't mention that? Does it mention it?
Well, it goes perky,
But it goes as another word, right?
and then
Perky.
perklin,
And what?
and then perkily,
Perkily? Or perkly?
prickly.
Prickly, you mean?
Perkily. Prickly.
Perkly. Interesting.
Oh.
That's not the word I was thinking of. I was thinking of the word percolating. Or you percolate.
Or
Just like you would percolate coffee in a cafe
Right.
to serve to people, guests.
Right.
Speaking of cafes, have you ever heard of the Bump and Grind Cafe in Vancouver, British Columbia, at the corner of Venables and Commercial Drive?
No, I haven't.
You have not?
No.
Well, let me tell you about this cafe.
Please
It is
do.
a wonderful safe space cafe where it's not only a cafe. No. They also sell a myriad of weird things because they also have a store, a thrift store. But it's not just a thrift store. It is also a game store. You can play board games. That's right.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Or you can, make a purchase of the art that's on the walls here, too.
Correct. They do a lot of different art.
Yes.
In fact, you'll see some art right behind me. That's right.
Yes. I think some of the artwork got changed
I
since last...
think so too. They moved it around. There's a lot of great artwork that you can buy here. This artwork behind me is actually by artist EMILOR Jayne.
Oh.
That's right, a local artist here in Vancouver, British Columbia, and you can
Fabulous.
buy this artist's art here at the Bump and Grind Cafe in Vancouver, BC, along with lots of delicious house-made snacks. That's right.
And London Fogs.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think I need to top up.
Mm-hmm.
So, hello, housekeeping. Right. So
That was not an official advert. That was just me being an idiot.
yeah.
However, we are at the Bumping Grind Cafe. We do record live here, and the owners love us, and yeah, that's an unsolicited advert I just threw in there. But that was the agreement for, if you're wondering. They provided the space in exchange for us to make sure the sign is in the shot. And why not?
Right? They're great people.
They're great people. They're wonderful. This is
Well,
a great little couch space we have back here.
You know them better
Gumball
than
machine. What?
You know them better than I do.
Mm.
Well,
I've been coming here for a couple of years, yeah.
yeah, so I'm more newer to the bump and grind, but I definitely love coming here though.
Yeah.
It's like an escape from the rest of the world for me when I come here.
It's a nice funky space. You know, there was a place years ago, a few blocks away from here, another cafe called the Prop House Cafe.
Yes, actually, I know about that. When I used to actually do fundraisers in there when we had the Red Umbrella March.
Yeah, which still happens every year.
Yes, but I mean, like, we used to have, like, a fundraiser that I would put on for the for the International Day to End Violence Towards Sex Trade Workers, which is December 17th.
Yeah.
And so when a friend of mine left, she left it to me to finish, to carry out her legacy, which I've been doing. I've been neglected a few years, but I'm trying to get myself back into the things I used to do. And
it takes time.
Well, yeah, no, you just gotta revamp things, and shit happens in life, and sometimes you just gotta escape from everything and drop everything on people, and it's not. But I know that I can go back and pick it up from whoever has it, and which is kind of nice because they all know that's my biggest thing. It's like that day. It's like my big fundraising activity that I try to build more and more up on. So, yeah, lovely. But it's also so close to Christmas that it's so hard to get people to like want to partake. Like I would have to start now to get to
for next year,
for the end of this year to get like what I want. Yeah. And I'm not quite there just yet, because now that's been put on hold because I may have to move now, and I don't like to start something when I'm in the middle of a move because I get hectic and I get stressed, and then when I'm stressed, things happen.
I mean, it's true, and I get it. We're almost in the same position right now.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That sucks that you have to move.
Yeah. I know. Again. And we were really hoping that we wouldn't have to move, but there's something fishy about how we got the notice too, that I'm just like,
whatever. In that case, you don't even want to deal with these people. Simple, just get out of there.
But we're hoping, like, we might find another apartment that's in there, so we might stay in the same building.
Yeah.
If we can do that, that'd be really great, because then it'd be like, okay, well, at least we don't have to move, and we're already familiar with the building. It's just a different apartment.
If you need a third roommate, this guy.
I'll definitely talk to Jay about that. I have mentioned you a few times, like, but
I only half serious say that, you know that.
But wouldn't you like to be indoors for once?
No, I know, but it's such a difficult thing for me to.
Like, you would come and go as you please. Like, you don't have to check in with us or anything.
No, I know, obviously. But the thing is, the problem with me, I really don't have a guaranteed income. It's not consistent. So for me to join anyone, it would be like, what can I offer you that's actually worthwhile? A couple of $100? That's the problem.
That's the thing. It's like, both Jay and I are very reasonable people. Yeah. I shouldn't have said his name. Fuck.
I don't know which one.
Yeah. And so if you brought to us like your situation and explained yourself, we are most people.
Well, you know my situation.
Of course I do, but like,
Jay kind of knows because you've told him.
Yeah. And that's the thing. It's like, we could make it work if it was something like, to get yourself up and going again, to like be able to, get work or whatever. That's okay with
the
us.
apartment doesn't change me getting work though.
But you'd be surprised it really does sometimes.
But that has no bearing on someone hiring me for a job. Because it's not on my resume.
But honey,
it's not their business.
Right, but you may not think that you may not show that you're homeless, but it can come across like you're homeless without it being an actual physical showing thing.
Still.
And most people can pick up on things like that too. Like, I don't know if I'm explaining it right. I mean, when I was homeless and I dressed really well, everything, I was always well cleaned, everything, people still knew somehow I was not housed and I was living in a shelter. Mm-hmm. And they would never hire me. But as soon as I got like into my own apartment, it changed like dramatically. And it's just like, I could have
But
done.
I don't think right now that has any bearing where the world is right now.
Well, you never know.
It's
Some
so
people
screwed up right now. I put out
This world is
so let me
screwed
give
here.
reference to everybody watching
Ugh.
this right now.
Sorry.
So, like, just to quickly frame this up. So years ago, I did a TV show years ago. I did a TV show where the experiment was, could I live?
Sorry, I had a glitch. I literally, sorry, I had a twitch. Like, continue.
I'll give you a minute.
Thanks. That really hurt. Just a seizure. Nothing to be like. Oh shit! No, no.
It's fine. Recovery position. Recovery position.
Just continue talking. Finish your story.
I'll wait till you're done fumbling with that, because that's going to make noise in the recording.
I'm just trying to tighten it. That's all. I'm tightening. Can you help?
Yeah.
I don't forget which way to tighten it. Ooh. Sorry, folks. Me and my fucking glitch had to break everything.
Okay, go. Tighten it.
Which way? This way?
Yeah, that way.
Oh, that's where. Sorry. Ouch. Is that good?
All right, let go.
God darn it, Tyler. Synder. Whoever the fuck I am. No, sorry. Sorry, folks. Yeah, don't know. I'm sitting on my hands now from this point on. I really don't know what happened there.
Okay, so anyways, what year was this? Oh yeah, so in 2016, I decided to do a TV show. I've worked on a bunch of stuff, and this project came up, and I decided to, like, I had the right time and the right place to do this, and I wanted to do this, like, reality show experiment, because I've met a lot of people that have done this for different reasons, and so in 2016, I'm like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to figure out how to live on the road full time. So,
Right.
2016, I got myself a minivan, I equipped it, and I jumped on the road. And we did 4 seasons of this. There's even season 5 coming out. It's already in post. And the thing is, I had money in the bank. I didn't have any worries. But it's interesting, all of a sudden, and this is the short version, life imitated art.
Right.
And after a few months of it, actually, well, it was like a year of recording the show, I'm like, all right, well, I'm going to go to Vancouver and get myself a job there, because I did this project and that was that. And then somehow, I couldn't find work. Nobody was hiring. I was applying, I was applying. And then I'm like, that's fine, I have money. I'll get an apartment. Get an apartment. Well, now, whoa, why am I getting an apartment? I'm paying rent, I don't have an income. Now, I had some income, some of the residuals that I was getting,
Right.
but it's very little. It's not enough to really pay everything. And so, one thing led to another, and it got to the point where I was spending money so much, I was having an income, that my money, of course, drains, because you got to eat.
Right.
And so, eventually I had no money. Next thing I know it, I'm still not looking. So the project ended, and I didn't have money to get an apartment. I didn't have a job.
Wow.
And so, all of a sudden, art is imitating life, and I was homeless. And it was fine for a short while, and I kind of worked and figured it out, and yada, yada, yada. But then progressively it just got worse, because your emotional level starts to wear away at you. It's no longer fun. It's no longer a choice. And then eventually I got a job, started paying back debt, because I'd live off credit card for a while. I got a job, and then March 2020 hit. Everyone lost their jobs. I lost my job. I couldn't work. Living off credit cards. Next thing I know it's just getting worse and worse. My health is diminishing, and I'm homeless. And I've been effectively homeless since 2016, the whole thing. And so much credit card debt I've been living off of, everyone, over the last 3 years. And I have a shitload of debt now, and I'm homeless.
That's not easy.
It's not a choice for me.
No.
This is a choice, and like, do I want to be in the car or on the street? That's the choice. I mean, I like the choice, but it is a choice.
Right.
I'm not giving up. I have worked through the years off and on, but nothing's ever lasted. Now, I've worked for 10 companies that have gone out of business.
Yeah, you're
That's
saying that.
pre-COVID. pre-COVID.
That's fucked up.
Blows my mind. And now I'm
Wow.
struggling to get work in any industry, whether it be entertainment or not. I have sent out, so to get back to the original point, over 300 resumes.
Yeah, no, you did it at my house, and like you were telling me, you like, well, there, I've applied everything within the restaurant industry. I was like,
and entertainment
what?
and I've done some work, I've done some voiceover work, done some other projects, and like getting some residuals. Not enough though. Like I make maybe like $400 a month in residuals. That's all going to my credit card debt because I had to eat over the last 3 years.
Well, yeah, you can't starve yourself. You would have been dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Or
so it's just like it almost doesn't even matter now.
True.
I say that, but like, yeah, anyways. So, I mean, I don't know what people are looking for. In part, I get the industry. I mean, we intentionally hire immigrants because we can abuse them. Every restaurant does this.
Yeah.
That is the reality. They do it intentionally. Same with housing. You want someone who doesn't have rights. We want people, second language, female students on a visa. Why? Because they're not going to rock the boat and you can abuse them for the rent prices.
Because they you know that they will pay it.
Exactly. And that is how they do it. They don't want someone who is a citizen Canadian. And for the record, I am not Canadian. I'm Canadian by paperwork. I'm a citizen, but I am an immigrant. English is my second language.
That's so fucked up.
So and I've seen them do this time and time again. And they do it because they're criminals and they want to get away with it. Right? And I get that. I don't approve it. I know why they do it. It's the reason. It's not an excuse. So it's extremely difficult in that aspect.
So, okay, and then I guess that makes sense, like, why you are kind of, like, hesitant on the fact that, like, having a home wouldn't really... I can see why you made that a comment, saying, like, you know, well, it wouldn't really matter if I was indoors or not, like, in a sense, so...
Because there's a lot of people that are indoors and can't get work.
Yeah, I think I have a different... I think I just view things differently from knowing, like, just from the years of knowing you, and, like, and seeing you as an individual and spending our time, like, on camera and off camera, like, I feel like on camera I'm a little bit different around you, and then when I'm off camera I guess I'm a little bit more sympathetic, but also like more like concerning, and like try to be more like supportive in a way that I think that like I don't think you really have a lot of. And I mean, like, and I support you in anything, like, and cause like you're amazing, like, and I truly mean that. You are an amazing soul. And I mean, when you pitched this idea to me, I was like, I already said yes before you even got the whole pitch out, like. And I mean, and it was here in the Bump and Grind Cafe, and I went to go use the washroom, and that's when you're like, you're gonna love the washroom. And I walked into the washroom, and I was about ready to walk back out because it looked like Christmas was in there, and I could not piss in front of Santa Claus. It took me a while to be able to piss in that bathroom. But anyways, but like, you know, and I had said yes to anything. Yeah. Like, 'cause you were there for me when I wanted to do something, and I'm not a person to like say, oh yeah, I'm there for you, and then not be there. I'm a person that when I say I'm there for a person, I'm there for a person.
Yeah, and you're the same as I. It's like there's a difference between being there, but it's a difference between choosing not to go for whatever dumb reason, or like not being able to do that, but then you communicate, I can't do this because it's not that I don't want to, I'm just not able to because of this thing.
Right.
That's the difference. That's the big difference. It's not just, yeah.
And I mean, there's a slight perk I get out of you too, though, if I, you know, when I can help you. Yeah. That's a dirty joke.
You get fame, fortune.
No, I was thinking about something else more than that. I think about back to our
always trying to get me in bed with you.
Oh, but you're so good.
I mean, I slept over. I mean, it's true. I am great in bed. I can sleep for hours. Okay, hi everyone. This is the editor version of the host of me in the show. Anyways, so I wanted to mention what you're gonna hear. We're gonna have a little discussion about like Christmas and seasonal stuff, and then we're gonna sort of go through that coming up here. But there's no reference to that because there's actually no video or picture. But in this cafe at Bump and Grind, their washroom used to be Christmas themed. When you walked in there, it was like there was Santa Claus everywhere, and there was pictures, and there was snow, and there's all this kind of stuff in there. But now that's all gone, and I don't have anything to show you about that. So anyways, that's the reference point. If you Google it, you might find something. Anyways, enjoy.
And I was like, oh my god, it's actually a Winter Wonderland in a small confined space with lots of Santa Claus and Christmas, and I was just like, and it wasn't even Christmas yet. It was like, I think it was
Well,
still
it's
summer.
not really a Christmas theme.
Well,
None
no,
of
that was
is
Christmas theme.
well,
That was
but it's not
Christmas.
actually about Christmas. None of that in there is actually Christmas.
But I mean, it was a lot of Christmas things.
Yeah, it's very stuff that's very popular around Christmas.
Like this should have been like out on a front yard. Almost felt like it was just.
Well, yeah, because there's garland in there. There was some colored lights.
There was
a Santa Claus.
There was more than one Santa Claus actually. It looked like. There was one that held the toilet paper for you.
No, oh yeah, someone had put their hand. Yeah, that's right, that's right. No, it's quite well decorated. Now it's all drowsy and gross. Ugh, so nice before.
Yeah, it would catch you off guard though, for sure.
It was hilarious. I loved it.
It was fun. Now it's sucks.
So,
but anyways, but yeah, and I was like when you said I said yes, and I'm so glad that I have and I'm not stopped. You know, have not looked back on it or doubted it because it's like it's taken time, but I know that this will kick up for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, who knows? Maybe not.
You know,
I don't care. I'm enjoying doing this.
I've always wanted to do a podcast, but I could never forget. And I always forget I have people such as yourself that have the resources or have the knowledge to know how to do all of this, but yet I could never. I think it's because of my own childhood. It's like I can never pull myself to ask for help for doing stuff like this. I have to do it all on my own because that's just,
which is impossible with certain projects. You can't.
Yeah, but can't is not a word in my dictionary, right? And
Yeah,
so
but you physically can. It's not possible with some things. Like I can't shoot it for. The only way I could shoot a short film if I was the only person in it.
But that's what I mean. I wouldn't.
And I've done it. But if you want someone else a part of the project, then you physically can't do it by yourself. You actually need another person.
Fair enough, but I mean, I would create a whole ventriloquist puppet then,
Sure, yeah. If you wanted to just do a project where it was just you.
But just the fact that you have all of this knowledge, and then I'm just really happy to be here.
Well, it's just it's just experiences. I'm happy to do this. Something to do, and it's just it's something to do. I like doing it, and it's simple. It's easy in an aspect, in a way. So, but that's how to go back to that. It's just I ended up homeless, and effectively I am, and people don't see it that way because they don't relate that to how I look. I'm always well groomed. I don't use drugs. I don't drink. I'm clean. I don't smoke. And so some people can't even wrap their head around what it means. And because we see so much social media on people that are nomadic, we just assume everybody who is.
What's nomadic mean? Sorry.
They move around. They travel a lot. They're on the move. They don't live anywhere specifically.
Okay.
So van life, in quotation.
Okay.
Right? And that's not the case for me. And so some people cannot correlate that in their brain. They just cannot cognitively understand. And it just does not break through of how bad the situation is. And they're like, but you're so well put together. I'm like, it is a constant work every single day. Well, everything you do takes me 5 times longer. You need to go to the washroom, you can go to the washroom. Me, I need to go to the washroom, take a shower. I got to plan 4 hours in my day to make it work.
And see that, and
I got to drive to my shower.
Well, my shower is always available.
Same difference. I got to drive there still. I got to plan for that. I got to pay for parking if there isn't 2-hour parking. There's a lot more goes into it. I got to plan for that.
I told you I pay for your parking.
But you get what I'm saying.
Yeah,
I was
trying to be funny. Sorry.
There are solutions to it. That's not the point.
No, I know.
In everyday life, you don't have to do this. And that is exhausting. Regardless if you pay for parking or not for me, or I do. It's just a physical thing that I've got to go do this. It's going to take me 3 hours. And say I have a job in the morning, I got to make sure to do that the night before. And what if you're not available? Now I can't shower.
Right.
I've got to shower somewhere else. And
so,
I don't have time to just relax because it takes me so long. I don't have chill time. I can't just sit down on a couch. This is my chill time, and even this I'm doing hopefully to make some money.
And it's been so long since I've been homeless too. It's been years since I've actually been out on the streets. But I mean, things have changed. You're right, the world has changed. But I don't know. I don't know why I'm so optimistic in the sense that I feel like something will come around and make things better.
But that has nothing to do with what's happening now. Optimism is not reality of what now. That's the future.
But I mean,
it may, but that has nothing to do with how difficult life is now. It will get better one day, but that doesn't change the fact that it still takes me 3 hours to plan for a shower. And people negate that fact. I'm like, no, guys, I can't just pick up and do shit.
But that's what. So now going back to what I was saying with like Jay and I, I know, and Jay trusts me enough, like that, because you said you don't have enough to contribute. There are other things that we can negotiate for, like contribution on things, right? Like you have a lot of assets that would probably work for us in such a way of that would make us probably feel safer, and that until such a time, it's like. But we would be hard on you in the sense of make sure you don't stay in your room and isolate or whatever and not do things. We would poke at you to make sure that you're still actually trying to find work and whatnot, right?
Well, that has never stopped. I've always been looking for work.
Well, I know that, but
but even when I have work,
I mean, but what I mean is when you do get work, it's just
But the thing is, even when I did have work, I had a full-time job downtown, supervising in a restaurant with 150 seats.
Hi everyone, if you didn't already know, Opinions has new episodes every Monday. And if you'd like to watch the full video and audio episode, head over to patreon.com/The Opinions Show. Opinions is recorded live in Vancouver, Canada, and on location at the Bump and Grind Cafe, and is a production of atkafilms.com.